Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Millen, joined by Brian Thornton. I swear we're going to get back to like schedules where all of us are here, but Josh decided to take upon himself, go into the Forbidden Forest, and we haven't seen him. But I assume that when he comes back, it will be 100 points for Gryffindor, so good on him.
Got it. Okay.
It's a Harry Potter reference.
I got it. There's a Harry Potter festival this weekend.
There is, isn't there? Right in Pennsylvania.
There is. I was asked multiple times if I could go, if I was going. I'm like, people for some reason, because I look like a fat Harry Potter, think I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I'm not.
You know, you also do
I like the movies.
A nerdy podcast, and, you know.
Yeah, I get that. No, I'm a nerd. It's just not my...
You like books.
Not my nerddom.
Oh, on a semi-related note, my wife was actually fortunate enough to win this lottery, and we are actually going to go see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway in April.
Yes. Much jealousy from the Burns clan. Maybe that's why he's not here.
That's probably why. Here's the deal. I paid very little money for these tickets. They are awful seats, but I'm still happy to have them anyway. The seats that I have are going right now for $3,000 a pop. And I have one for me and one for Jenny, and I refuse to sell the tickets. I'm going to see this show.
That is ridiculous how much those seats are going for.
Guys, I have the worst seats in the house, but I don't care.
Are you like in the standing room only?
I'm literally in the way back in like the center area. Like it's a terrible vantage point, but I don't care. Here's the thing though, it's a two-part play, right? Right. And the act one, the scene one is basically like 2.5 hours. Then there's like a 2-hour break, and then you do the other 2 hours for part two.
So it's like a Lord of the Rings movie.
It's huge, and I'm still. My wife was like, "We should sell this $6,000. Think what we can do with $6,000." And I'm like, "Yes, but think about the fact that people want to pay $6,000 for our tickets, and we got them for far less than that. Like that experience is worth $6,000. I think we should go see it and not sell the tickets." So, I mean, April's a long ways away, so we'll see what happens. But I think I'm going to go see this play, so I'm very excited.
I am excited for you.
All right, but
as well.
But you do not turn into this podcast to hear how I'm fortunate enough to go to Broadway. So let's look at the world of movies. It is time to talk about movies and television because That Kind of Nerd is going to go screen to screen.
To screen.
It's the same as Cape Talk.
You're the same as Cape Talk. I'm still working it out.
Still working on the theme.
Trust me, it's kept me up at night. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm very tired. I've been up every night late thinking of theme songs for screen to screen. It has not been working out in my favor.
But on Tuesday, director Ron Howard announced that we now have a title for the 2018 Han Solo movie. And the movie's title is Solo, a Star Wars story.
The laziest title ever.
Yeah, really lazy. They really dug deep.
How long? Like they've been filming this movie for how long, and it took them this freaking long to come up with that title. That's like calling The Empire Strikes Back, Luke, a Star Wars story,
or Where's My Hand, a Star Wars story. So I came across a website called therainer.com, and they had some other suggestions for the title of the movie. And I'm very curious, Brian, to hear what you think about them. The first one is Don't Get Cocky, a Star Wars story.
Meh.
Nerf Herder.
I'm okay. I'm more okay with Nerf Herder than I am with Solo.
The young Solo?
No, then I just feel like I might as well watch Young Indiana Jones.
Who shot first?
That's dumb because we all know the answer to that question.
You gotta Han it to him.
No.
This one says Solo's fine, and that person's an idiot. This is Han.
Is that supposed to be a take on 300?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And then the other one they had was Smuggle Buddies.
Sounds like a sitcom.
Well, it's like bosom buddies.
I know.
You put Chewie, and you got the
unless Lando, Chewie, and Han are dressing up as females to get into an all-female apartment. It doesn't make sense.
Here's the thing, though. We're saying, oh wow, really dug deep, but I mean, what else would you name this movie?
I don't know. I don't get paid to make those decisions.
You said that you should work for Hollywood last episode. You said, I should work for Hollywood. Well, here's your chance, and you've got nothing.
I wasn't prepared for this question. Hang on. Give me 30 seconds. I got nothing. I keep on wanting to say something about the Falcon. Millennium. A Star Wars story. I feel like that's even better than Solo. How about 12 parsecs? You could be like the Fast and Furious. Just call it 12 parsecs.
You want a Fast and Furious theme for a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, I want to see a Han Solo movie where it's just, Fast and Furious, but with spaceships. That'd be cool.
Anyway, so see, we have no better suggestions, so I'm very curious.
I don't get paid the thousands and thousands of dollars to make these decisions.
Well, barely whoever did. It was the same thing as the Hot Pockets jingle, right?
I'm honestly okay with Han Solo. I don't know. It's just...
Okay.
It's just...
You don't like it, but
I was
you get no better
expecting something more after how many years of hearing about this movie.
All right, so moving on then to give Brian a little bit of a palate cleanser here to make him feel a little happy, lift his spirits to something that he does know about. Let's take a look at the world of comics, how it's affecting TV, how it's affecting movies, but really how excited we are this week because it's affecting all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk!
So the first thing I have to talk about right off the bat is the Black Panther trailer that just got dropped.
Oh, you mean the 2.5 minutes of gloriousness?
Everything about this is amazing.
Oh my gosh. It looks so good.
Any preconceived notions you had about what the Black Panther movie is going to be like, just crumble them out, throw them away, because it's better than you ever thought it could be. Like, I am blown away with this.
Just visually. I don't even know enough about the story, but just visually. Ryan Coogler, man, this guy knows how to shoot a movie.
Yeah.
And, fairly new to the game. But I loved Creed. I thought he did a great job on Creed.
Mm-hmm.
And just, some of the shots of Wakanda and just how technologically advanced this place is. Then there's that scene where he's, communing with the Panther god. And it looks like the scene out of Lion King with, the purple sky.
Remember who you are.
But it was all very well done. And I just immediately yes, I need this movie now. And then action wise, dude, this looks like it's gonna kick ass.
We saw a little more Michael B. Jordan than we ever have. And he looks awesome. What a great villain. And the thing though that drove me the most, the thing that I watched this thing several times immediately after I watched it was the music. The music was incredible.
I actually found both songs that were sampled in there and put them on a playlist.
You sent a text message right away to Josh saying, I don't care what you're doing. I need to listen to this song now. Can I please have this song so I can listen to it?
Josh is my song guru. If I need to find a song, he's the guy I go to.
And the man found it, but it's obviously some kind of done up version just for the
there's
trailer.
2 songs in it too. There's the first song that plays for about half the trailer, and then it goes into the Revolution Will Not Be Televised.
Yeah.
So I found both songs. There was one by Vince Staples. I want to say it was Bag Back or something like that. That Revolution Will Not Be Televised is kind of mixed in with.
Yeah.
And it was just so well done.
And the way that they blended it, I didn't know what was dialogue and what was the song. And I'm great. I'm okay with that. I thought it was great.
Ever since Suicide Squad, more and more trailers are doing this thing where they're timing the music to the trailer, and it just gets you even more hyped up. There's that scene where you hear that ba 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 ba, and it's the footsteps on the sign as he's jumping off the building, and you're like, oh my gosh!
But somewhere
gonna be awesome.
Somewhere Edgar Wright's going, I've been doing that for years, man. I've been doing that for years.
I know he has.
Looks
this looks so good.
So good. February cannot come fast enough. I need to watch this movie now. I need it in my life. It looks so good. Plus, we just everything about this movie. Everything about it. I can't find a bad thing. I can't find anything to complain. It looks amazing.
No, it looks fantastic. And there's plenty of stuff to keep you occupied until February.
Yes, because we then got news that Marvel is debuting the Punisher series on November 17th.
Another trailer with awesome music, by the way. The usage of One and Metallica in that trailer is fantastic.
No, and I like the trailer. I like how we're getting a lot of story now too, right? We're starting to see where this series is going to go, and we have a little idea as to where we're gonna go in this Marvel universe that we have on Netflix.
Yeah, and we all know we all love John Bernthal as Frank Castle. I think it's going to be great. The story, we got a little bit of the story. He's going to be uncovering this corruption, avenging his family. Looks all good things. And it drops the same day as Justice League.
That's the next part. I was just about to say
Yep.
that the date sounds very, it sounds something else that's supposed to be dark and gritty, and that's the Justice League.
Yeah, I keep trying to defend Marvel, saying, "Oh, they have these things planned out so far in advance.
Come on.
They don't play that game like the way the industry works. They have to have this stuff planned out, and it just so happens to fall out." No, this is way too coincidental.
It's deliberate. Come on.
It's got to be.
And you know what? Depending on the buzz of the reviews of that movie, that can make and break Justice League.
People will just stay home and watch Punisher.
Yeah.
I mean, not me. I'll go see Justice League Thursday night. I'll come home, watch all of Punisher, and then I'll have.
Here's the other thing too. I mean, that can affect the opening weekend because Punisher being a couple episodes, some people will either watch it multiple times or watch it over the weekend. Finish it out over the weekend and not go to the movies because they're going to watch Punisher. I don't honestly think it's going to make that big of a dent. I mean, that's just obviously Marvel's
going to make a ton of money to begin with, especially when something's on demand whenever I want it.
Right, as opposed to that. So I'm not saying the sky is falling again on DC. I'm just saying it's going to hurt them if the reviews are very bad. But if the reviews are good on Justice League, I mean, no one's in trouble here. This is good things for everybody.
Yeah, we'll see in about 2 weeks when the reviews for Justice League start leaking out how this is going to affect it.
But man, I am so excited. We also got a teaser, a little. It looked like a tweet with a little video for Daredevil, and it was
that said I'm fine.
Yeah, and it said I'm fine. So we, hey, all right, cool. So we
don't know when Daredevil season 3 is coming out though. We know Jessica Jones and Luke Cage season 2 have both either finished filming or in the middle of filming. Punisher's coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Daredevil season 3 till 2019.
Yeah, I can believe that. We also got some news coming out of the world of Fox. Just out of the blue, in my opinion, we got the release date for the Gambit movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it is Valentine's Day 2019.
The movie that nobody is excited for.
What? Channing Tatum is... I'm actually excited for this.
No, you are a fool, sir. There are so many other better people. Channing Tatum. I don't want a potato playing Gambit. That's all I don't. The man looks like a potato.
I don't care. I'm still psyched.
And I don't even think he's a good actor.
I think it's so funny that this is also the release date that they used for Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah.
And they're just like, hey, we'll rated R again? Yeah. Okay, can we just copy and paste? So we have the same formula? Yeah, all right, great.
No, they're hoping for the same magic, but the problem is...
it's not the same.
Deadpool had something that this movie doesn't.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
No one...
Don't say no one.
Listen. You're going to get the Magic Mike crowd who will go see Channing Tatum no matter what he does.
Right.
And that's it.
That's not true.
Outside of actual comic book fans, it doesn't have mass appeal.
Right, I agree it does not have mass appeal, but true believers and mall walkers who are like, I like Channing Tatum will go. But that's
no, everybody, all the true believers will see it.
But that's enough for an opening weekend.
I don't think, and no matter what fucking Josh says, and he's not here, I can fucking disagree with him. I don't think Channing Tatum's a mall walker guy. He is not a box office draw. Just look at Kingsman. Did you see the second Kingsman?
I did.
How much of that movie is he in?
None, but that's why people got their butts in seats. No, that's why people came to see the movie. He wasn't in a lot of it, but
no.
Yeah, he was a misdirection, and he's going to be the future of the franchise kind of deal. People, listen, they put Channing Tatum on the front center of the poster. Like, they make him a huge deal. Obviously, he's not in the whole movie a lot, but people come to see Channing Tatum, and they were disappointed to not get a whole lot of him, but they stayed and paid their money.
I was not. The moment he went into...
spoilers, whatever.
Cryostasis coma... I was like, yes, I don't need to see him anymore. Move on with the people I care about. Colin Firth, Taron Egerton. That's why I went to see that movie.
Here's another bit of news that I'm kind of... I don't know how I feel about it. So at New York Comic Con, Todd McFarlane said that he, after they put out a Spawn movie, that they're going to do the rights for an animated series to come out to like accompany this. I mean, do you think that having the movie and then going to this animated series is a good idea for Spawn?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Did you see the original Spawn animated movies from HBO?
No.
They're fantastic.
They're good?
They're all very good, and they did what the nice thing about those animated movies is they did what the movie in 1997 couldn't do, was be extremely dark and, you know, I don't want to keep using the words dark and gritty, but it works for Spawn. They got away with a lot because it was pretty much like watching a rated R Spawn animated movie. If that's what they're planning on doing with this, you sell it to like a network like HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, I'm all over it. That's fantastic.
Okay.
Especially since you can do more of the superhero element in an animated series, whereas this movie is going to be more based around horror.
So do you think though that it's the same story and the same character carried on, or is it a separate world and a separate storyline?
Did I become Todd McFarlane all of a sudden?
I'm just thinking your opinion.
I'm thinking, in my opinion, if they do what they did a decade ago, it'll be its own separate story.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess that's fine.
It is fine
All right.
because I said it's fine.
We also got, I think this is like one of the last big, I think this is going to be the last big casting news that we're going to get out of the streaming service coming from DC, their show Titans. We got Beast Boy. We found out who's going to be playing Beast Boy. It's Ryan Potter, who really isn't, he's not, again, just like we said, a relative unknown. He did a voice for Big Hero 6.
He was the voice of Hero.
Right. He did the route on Disney, right? A couple shows that if you are over the age of 15, you're not watching. But again, a relatively unknown guy.
Or you could be watching it. You know what? We don't judge.
I judge a little. I judge you.
Well, CJ's judgment doesn't matter.
If you're watching, if you are watching Walk the Prank, get out of here. I don't want you.
The fact that you know the name of the show makes me believe that you watch it.
I have a 4-year-old, damn it.
Oh, okay. So that's your excuse.
I hate that show. Anyway, but again, a relatively unknown person playing the character looks like he's going to be fun. Looks like it's going to be another great casting choice, and I'm very happy to see this. I mean, do we have any other roles really that are left? We've got Robin, we've got Starfire, we've got Raven, we've got Hawk and Dove. Who else do we need? I
mean, like I said last time we talked about this, there's so many people that have been Teen Titans. If they want to include, I don't know. I don't know if I don't think they can include Kid Flash because, I mean, it is a Berlanti show, so maybe he might want to do that. But we already have somebody cast for him, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's Wonder Girl, Ravager, there's Tara, there's Jericho.
I don't know who any of these people are that you're listing. Listen, you're very impressively listing these people. I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Titans fan. But I will tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if they put in the latest iteration of Blue Beetle, because he was pretty big in the Young Justice cartoon, but I wouldn't be surprised if they included him in it. Other than that, I think we've got pretty much the major players.
Okay, so I mean,
the nice thing about this show and what this show could be is that you could switch these people out and add people and subtract people and just at a whim. You could do it every other episode. You can have a cameo. You can do it every other season. There's like a completely new team. As long as you have Robin in there, you could do a completely different team every season if this is successful enough. I'm excited. I think this is going to be great. And Berlanti's doing this, right?
Yes, it is Greg Berlanti.
In Berlanti, we trust.
Very true. So as we all know, I have a great hobby of going around the internet, and I like to find the weird and find the obscure, and I ask for a tech perspective on these topics. Oh, I thought you were going really simple. Okay, so I am completely shocked. My brain, as we all know, is a stupid thing. It doesn't work correctly. It obviously malfunctions way more than...
Listen, it is not nice to talk about your dyslexia like that.
Thanks for making it real, man.
No problem. What am I looking at? What is this?
So here's the deal. I said to my wife the other day, you know what? You know when you were a kid and you dig a hole to China, right? You just, I'm digging a hole to China. You ever wonder what is literally on the opposite side of the world of where you are? To which my wife said, no one thinks that.
No one ever thinks that.
I think that a lot, and I'm also really surprised that no one's made an app to tell you what is on the other side of where you are. Well, I'm an idiot because apparently it exists on the internet. It's not an app, but it's a website where you put in your address, right? Or it'll pull your address off the internet, and it'll tell you what is literally on the complete opposite side of the world as you. So for right now, from my location, if I were to dig a hole, I would be just off the coast of Australia. I'll be off the west coast in the middle of the ocean.
I too would be off the coast of Australia.
But
I think most of PA would be off the coast of Australia.
Very true, but you can move this little avatar around and you can find out where the other side of the world would be. I just think it's interesting to look at some of these major cities and be like, hey, anytime any kid was just like, yeah, go dig a hole to China, you could be like, no, well, in order to dig a hole to China, you would have to go to... I'm just surprised, but also not surprised that someone on the internet had the exact same thought that I did, and I want to meet that poor bastard and be like, I'm so sorry that this is the way that you think, because I
So if I wanted to turn the world into a sandwich, I would need one piece of bread here and the other piece of bread off the coast of Australia in the Indian Ocean.
Yes.
Got it. I'm on it.
Unless the Earth is flat, and then obviously this is just propaganda.
Oh, don't give me that bullshit. And let's face it, you can't dig a straight line through the Earth. There's I don't know, molten lava core somewhere. Closer you get, you die. So it'd be more like an L or a U bar. I'm just saying.
You had to drop actual science on this?
I'm sorry. You had to drop your weird shit on it.
Listen, I just think it's interesting. I think it's something that someone out there, other than me, has to enjoy. So find that one friend.
Clearly, not just one person. Probably a team of people had to build this website.
Yes.
There is a whole team of people who think just like you, CJ. I need you to find them.
No, you don't want us. You don't want the collective of us coming together.
Well, yes. If you get too many in one room together, the Earth would eventually implode.
Absolutely. We would just have dumb thoughts all the time, and then
Indeed.
The game would be over.
And terrible theories.
You know what would happen? This is what would happen. All of us get in a room together, and that's the moment where the aliens come down, and that's the room, and they're like, oh, this planet is full of idiots. I mean, I'm
just thinking of you with these people talking about digging holes in the Earth for no absolute reason at all, and talking about how in that one scene that water glass was full, but now it's 3/4 full, and I can't seem to get past that.
This would be the people going, did you notice the spaghetti when he was eating the spaghetti? Yeah, there were 3 meatballs, then there were 2, then there was 3, then there was 1, then there was half of one. God, that script supervisor sucks. Oh God, I do need to find these people now, Brian. I have a feeling though, if I find them, you're just going to lock us in a room together.
You would ruin all of the good things. I don't know if this could be if that's okay. You would ruin everything that's good in the world.
Again, I'm telling you, the aliens come down at that moment, just to blow up the whole planet because of that. Brian, I do have a question for you, though. Do you miss the days of video stores? Are you desperate for the return of your local mom and pop shop? Are you curious what snacks you can buy when you need to rent a movie? Or did someone finally grab the last copy of Karate Kid before you could? Those bastards. Well, now you can go back and you can relive that trauma or that nostalgia, however you feel about it, at the Mystic Museum, because they've done a pop-up art installation of something called Slashback Video, which basically has all of the scary movies, but it is basically pimped out as a 80s or 90s video store.
Oh, yeah?
It is filled with 500 original VHS tapes of horror movies like A Night of Demons 2, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and then even some new films like It Follows or House of the Dead, because you wanted to see those relived on beautiful VHS and not, crystal clear HD at all. You would go to this, wouldn't you?
I would.
See,
For nostalgia's sake.
I would go find a room of people who are like, I wonder what's buried right underneath us. And you would go to be like, yeah, let's go back to a place that looks like Blockbuster.
For nostalgia's sake, I mean, come on. We all know I used to work at a video store, so it hits home for me.
Is the video store in your palatial estate still operational?
It's on its last legs, man. I just reviewed the Q3 reports, and I don't know how much longer we can limp along here.
Oh man, even with the late fees, again, can't stay open. Even with late fees,
I mean, no one wants to pay late fees anymore, so no one is just backing up the costs.
But you would go to Slashback Video. You would actually want to see some of the. Would you watch It Follows on VHS?
I wouldn't watch It Follows. Period.
Well, okay.
Pick a better movie.
I don't know, Cabin in the Woods.
Sure, for funsies. Why not?
I saw actually that Stranger Things, it released their season 1.
It looks like a giant VHS box.
Like a giant VHS
I saw
box.
that. I was tempted to buy it just because of that, but I'm like...
So let me ask you this. Let's say for some reason you could go ahead and you were in charge of a Slashback Video. right? What would it need to have in order to be the proper, authentic, nostalgic experience of going to a video store? What are the must-haves? I want to know the people that you must have, the products that you must have, and then like the weird, quirky thing that you must have.
Oh wow, put me on the spot here. You gotta have you gotta have a group of people who know a ton about movies, clearly, but you have to have that one guy who only watches like independent films, like the focus feature bullshit. Doesn't watch anything that's like mainstream, and then tells everybody they're wrong for liking anything that's mainstream.
Right. Okay.
You gotta have that guy who only watches foreign films for some reason.
Sure.
I worked with a guy like that. You gotta have the overly like ambitious manager who thinks he can really save this business. That was me. And as far as like products, I mean, are you looking for like specific movies?
I need. Here's what I'll ask. What movies? I give me like your top couple movies. What concessions? And then what weird miscellaneous item that really has no place in the world except for only in a video store?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I mean, movies you obviously have to have classics like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, that kind of stuff, Schindler's List. You know, I mean, if we're thinking about like more recent movies, I mean, I'm thinking a couple horror movies. Horror movies are actually a little bit scarier when they're on VHS, by the way. Just putting that out there. So you know,
Ring.
You carry stuff like It, and you carry The Ring, obviously, you know, things like that. Concessions, I mean, listen, Twizzlers, not Red Vines, fuck Red Vines.
Right.
You know, clearly M&Ms. They had this when I worked at the video store, they had this like weird little like popcorn seasoning you can get. You gotta have some of that. Clearly, you gotta have Coca-Cola because fuck Pepsi. I don't care what Josh says. And
I think you had to have Surge.
I mean, Surge is technically a Pepsi product. Are you really sure you want to go with that?
So is Mountain Dew. You're right. Okay. All right. I withdraw.
But what you do need to have as far as like weird miscellaneous items is those like, we sold some weird crap at the video store. And I remember like there was like movie themed like pillow pets or Snuggies that we carried. There was like just weird shit. Like,
but what is like the thing that does not exist now because it only existed inside of a movie rental store? Like, what's the one thing that when you see it, you're clearly like, Blockbuster, all right.
Besides a membership card?
Yes, besides a membership card.
And not like a legit membership card like you get at like, you know, Giant. You have like that dot matrix, like you have to print it out and then you put it in those weird like laminate like stickies.
Yep.
Oh, those were bad. Oh my gosh. You're asking me to dig back like almost 2 decades of my life and I can't remember.
That's what we do. See, for me, it's when they were trying to do video game rentals and there was those things almost like a GameStop, right? Where you could go and like demo it, but they were completely unstable.
Yeah, they were on that like kind of giant like tower thing that was like kind of plastic but kind of metal.
They looked like the big gumball machines, but they had like a game inside of them and like a really crappy TV. Because the GameStop ones looked like you were at E3 and you were like a guy set it up with love and care. Yeah. And the one at Blockbuster looked like, oh, please don't touch that. It will fall on you and kill you. Like you'll die.
I can support that. Most definitely. I can support that. Also, random giant pictures of movies that are 20 years old.
my other one must-have thing in your store is the movie that just came out that everybody wants that they only have 2 copies of and it's all gone. It says it'll be here next week, but it's never there, Brian. It never comes.
Don't worry, I'll keep an eye out from the return box for you.
Yeah, all right.
You literally were honestly. I haven't thought about working there since I left there when I was 22.
Do you miss it at all?
Oh, it's almost a decade. Oh, of course I miss it.
Really?
I loved that job.
I have some follow-up I definitely want to talk about now that we've talked about this 80s, 90s video store and what needs to be inside of it. I went on a hunt last week for Jolt's Cola, right?
Oh, yeah? Did you find it?
I could not find it anywhere. Number one, here's the problem. You're asking someone at a Dollar General if like they have a product in stock. What are the odds you think that someone is actually going to look? And I went to several Dollar Generals and then like went up, obviously when they're not busy, like, hey, do you have Jolt Cola? What is that? I'm like, it's a limited release, soda. It's got a lightning bolt on it. It's a yellow. I showed them the picture. They're like, I haven't seen that. Marlene, have you seen this? No. All right, bye.
Marlene!
It's
Get your ass up here!
And they were, I don't know why they were Southern, but we're in Pennsylvania. You shouldn't have that accent, but that's the way it is. Could not find it. So listen, if I would love, if any listener, if you see it, could you let me know? Could you just tweet at That Kind of Nerd or go on Facebook? Just facebook.com/That Kind of Nerd. Say, CJ, I found Joe Cola. Just tell me where it is. Grab me a can. I don't know. Mail it to me. I'll pay the shipping. Just, I want to try this damn cola that I haven't had in a long time. I do. I want to get one for me. Terrible. I want to get one for my brother. I definitely want to get one of those. Of course it's a bad idea. It's Jolt Cola. That's terrible. It's poison. We talked about that. It is poison. And I'm looking for it. I'm hunting for it. That's what I want. It needs to happen.
Okay. You do you, man. However you want to die. Not all of us get to choose our death, but apparently you do.
Now listen, since it was just the two of us here today, we wanted to keep it kind of brief. Respect the nerdy world's just giving us a little bit of news, but we don't want to cover everything without Josh. So we definitely want to hear some topics that we didn't get to discuss this week. What do you guys think about what we talked about? The show is now in your hands. Go to thatkindofnerd.com, leave us a comment, find us on Facebook or Twitter, just search at That Kind of Nerd. And we are now on Instagram, posting pretty rapidly at That Kind of Nerd Podcast. And if you know the guy who has at That Kind of Nerd on Instagram, you tell him to hand it over to us, but somehow within their terms and conditions. I don't want to get kicked out. I'm CJ Mellon, joined this week by Brian Thornton. It was fantastic having you guys here. Thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work, and we'll see you next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show. I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, cause you are that kind of nerd.
Marlene! Get your ass up here! You do not get a very good view of Daniel Radcliffe playing with himself on a horse.
That's a different show.
Oh, it's different? I thought they would work that in somehow.
You would hope so, but no. But it's
Harry Potter and the unicorn horn, if you know what I mean. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I almost did the sign off of another podcast.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I don't know why I did that.